Yo, Hideyuki here, the Rebelling Rose, the one chain to oblivion, returning yet again with another excellent video. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about my top 10 new metal albums that you should check out. So it's been a while since I've done anything on music, and I just wanted to come on here and just give some appreciation to new metal albums I think should be listened to a little bit more, albums I think deserve a little more recognition. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. First up on the list, we have the New Noise EP by Symposia. This was really surprising for me, mostly because it's a new band that released new material coming out in January of this year. So this EP definitely traces back to a lot of the known sounds that new metal has as a genre. You know, you have a little bit of rap, you have a little bit of hardcore, you'll have a little bit of, other kind of sounds in here. And I think it makes good for a fresh new album. It's definitely refreshing to have a album that has new metal, but it sounds good in modern day. And I think they paid attention to a lot of the sounds that, the genre is known for, but they're able to do something with it and make it memorable. So yeah, this EP is definitely cool to check out if you're looking for new material that actually sounds interesting. But yeah, next up on the list, we have Jamming in Vicious Environments by Shooty's Groove. Boy, oh boy, this is probably one of the most overlooked bands I can think of when it comes to this genre. And arguably, they're more of a rap rock band rather than new metal or rap metal. But either way, they still fit within that kind of genre. I consider rap rock and rap metal to be new metal anyway. So it's semantics at that point. But anyways, back to the actual album itself. Man, this, like I was saying, this came out at the time that Sugar Ray, 311, Rage Against the Machines, those bands were popping back in the early 90s. So this definitely got overlooked. This got released in 94, I believe. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool rap and funk fusion going on in here. And if you're into that kind of style, then this album was definitely for you. It definitely holds up a lot. And yeah, it's just a very fun album. Next up on the list, we have Sideshow Freaks by 40 Below Summer. This got released in 1999, and man, it's just a very raw album. It's still well produced, but it's very raw. The energy is just off the charts in this. I love the vocal range in here too. The vocals, knows how to just go absolutely all the way in and then kind of mellow out in the chorus. And yeah, it's always great to see that. And I love 40 Below Summer's other material, but there's just something unmatched about that raw energy that their debut had. And yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Next up on the list, we have New Wave by Playmo. This is a French new metal band that very much has a sound similar to Limp Bizkit, but, with French vocals. But they, some of the songs has English, some of the songs also has Japanese too, but mostly in French. So yeah, their sound is very, very similar to Limp Bizkit, but I don't find them too much to be a Limp Bizkit clone. They still have a lot up their sleeve, songs like New Wave, Kubrick, all that good stuff on the album. Very, very well done and pretty memorable for me, actually. Next up on the list, we have Ultramania by Seotaji. Man, oh man. This was a really cool album. This album right here, man, definitely one of new metal's best that you could find out there. And the album itself was very much a commentary on what was going around in Korea at the time. Freedom of expression, not being censored, and just being able to do the most. And Seotaji, they were always looking for new genres to step into and to try out. And when they did new metal, they knew how to do it. They had the sound. The lyrics were pretty good. So they definitely knew what they were doing. And again, this is at a time where Korea's pop music scene wasn't, what you think of like BTS and, all that other stuff, or all the K-pop that you know now. This is before that time, so censorship was a huge thing back in the day. This is pre-internet, so you have to keep that in mind. They were definitely pushing the boundaries at that time. This came out in 2000, yeah. So they were doing a lot with this album. Anyways, moving on. Next up on the list, we have Blackout by Head PE. Definitely one of the more overlooked albums out of Head PE's discography. Um, because Self Titled and Broke are definitely good. They're definitely memorable. But I think Blackout gets overlooked a lot because it doesn't have the exact same sound as the two other albums. So it just kind of gets overlooked just because of the sound. But if you go back and listen to a lot of the songs, you listen to a lot of the lyrics that they have in here, um, I think it holds up, and considering where the band was at the time, where they were getting screwed over by labels and they just wanted to put out their own stuff, without having to worry about that. I think this album very much reflects that era that they were going through at that time. And, it definitely leads into more of the self release stuff that they had later in their career. But yeah, Blackout was definitely a really, really cool album. And yeah, next up on the list, we have True Self by Soil. Soil, I think, is another overlooked band that, is just kind of thrown in with the alternative rock or metal because, all the sound blends together. But I think Soil is the most consistent. And yeah, they know how to mess around with the vocal range a lot. And I like it for that. It has a very clear cut sound, high energy, but they know how to mellow it out. And yeah, very cool album here. Next up on the list, we have Sevestra by OTEP. Man, oh man, this was a raw album, man. I mean, wow. Definitely one of the heaviest out of the new metal genre and probably one of the darkest I can think of because this band was going through at the time this came out, which was, I believe, also 2000, if I'm not mistaken. Man, not 2000, 2002. Man, whew, my goodness. I mean, it was something else. A lot of the lyrics were definitely dark and moody for the time it came out. But considering what, the band was going through, especially the vocalist, her heart was definitely put into this. And this is one of those rare new metal bands that does have a female vocalist other than something like Kitty. Um, and definitely holds up to this day. You can come back and listen to Possess and Blood Pigs and and Trek and all that, and it'll still hold up. Very aggressive album. Uh, you know. But anyways, moving on. Next up on the list, we have www.pitchshifter.com. Now, this album right here is definitely some of Pitch Shifter's best work. The early stuff is cool, but it's not really reminiscent of their signature sound. That was back when they were still doing the industrial metal stuff, back when they were still sounding like Ministry. But I feel like this album was the breakthrough for them, and just kind of showed what they can do on their own outside of just industrial. Like they had their own unique sound. You had industrial, but you also had breakcore, and you also had some other elements in here similar of punk and what have you. So they had punk, hardcore, all that stuff mixed together with the breakcore, with the industrial, and that's the sound that you got with this album. So I think it definitely holds its own water in that case. And yeah, definitely an album worth checking out and giving a listen to. Last but not least, we have Vapor Transmission by Orgy. Orgy was popular for a very, very, very short time, and the only album people really come back and talk about is Candy Ass. But not many people talk about their later stuff, especially like Vapor Transmission. But I think there's a lot of good songs on this album, and a lot of their work was more reminiscent of the Gothic sound. They had a more goth rock, Gothic aesthetic. They definitely had an industrial, heavy sound in their music. And I think they were masters of that, other than Pitch Shifter, of course. And Vapor Transmission definitely gave us a lot more to be desired than Candy Ass did. I think it's a very overlooked album in the discography, and it's definitely worth checking out. But yeah, with that being said, those are all the albums that I believe are worth checking out, that I believe is worth your time. And yeah, I really enjoyed making this list, and I will be making some more stuff. I will be talking about some death metal stuff and some Visual K albums that I believe should be checked out. So with that being said, Ide Yuki here, the Rebellion Grows, and until next time, I'll see you.